Hey guys, Trey Llewellyn here with the Unstoppable Core, week number 3. So what are we going to talk about this week? Well, you know what? We're going to pull back the funnels. We're going to pull back the website, and we're going to check out the inner workings. Because what a lot of people do, what a lot of my students do when they come in first to the mastermind, is they only see this. They only see the front part. They never look at, man, what's really making this all work? You know, what's the math behind it? And I don't know if you guys knew this, but you guys showed up for class today, and we're going to have class. We're going to do this. We're going to have a lot of fun. There's going to be some math involved. There's going to be some confusion involved, and that's why we did this on video, because you can go back, you can replay, you can pause, you can edit, you can write down. You can have a lot of fun with it, okay? So have fun with this, but see it as an educational piece, and make sure you start utilizing this knowledge, what I'm about to give to you, in your own business practices. So like I said, we're going to pull back the door, and I call it funneletics. And if you haven't known by now, if you haven't figured this out, I like to make up words. So is funneletics a word? I don't know, but it is now, okay? So let's just get going. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to look at a single product funnel, okay? So let me give you kind of an example of this. A single product might be, a book, okay? Really good example of that. A single product might be an expo marker. So hey, I want to sell you this expo marker. Do you want it? Right? Hey, I want to sell you a copy of my book. Do you want it? Okay? So here you go. Single product funnel. What we're going to do is we're going to drive, so this is going to be our funnel. We're going to drive 10,000 clicks. And if you're kind of confused on what a funnel is right now, I highly suggest you go back to week 2 and check that out. Okay? So we have 10,000 clicks. We've bought 10,000 clicks from maybe Facebook or a traffic source. People who have said, I'm kind of interested in that. And then, of course, we have an opt-in form. This is where they're kind of putting their email address in. We typically get around about a 50% conversion. So what's that mean? So when we have 10,000 people that kind of walk through our door and we say, hey, person A, would you like to opt in? He says no. Person B, would you like to opt in? Yes. So obviously, we're only going to get half of the traffic that comes into our funnel to opt in, which gives us 5,000 people who raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm okay giving you my email address. Then the next step, right? Hey, maybe you're interested in my book. Maybe you're interested in this expo marker. And we're going to have about a 10%. We've seen across the board, our order forms get us about a 10% conversion. So 10% of the 5,000 is 500. So hopefully you guys are following along by now, right? So we have 50% of 10,000 clicks come in. 5,000 of those people give us their email address. Of those 5,000 that gave us their email address, 10% of those are going to order. That's going to give us 500 orders. So this is where the numbers come in. So $35 an order. So let's take $35. Let's say we're selling something for $35, no matter what it is. The numbers still work out. What we want to do is we want to see how much revenue that is. And that's what we're going to do down here. So 500 times $35 is $17,500. Okay, so this one little piece right here brought us in about $17,000. Now the next piece, right? After they order, after they click that submit button, after they said, I'm a buyer, I'm giving you my credit card, then we give them an upsell, right? We upsell them. And let's say we upsell them into something that's maybe $55. Well, we're going to have about over the across the board, about a 5% conversion on the OTO1, one-time offer. 25 people of the 500 take it. So again, this is 5% of the 500. So that's 25 orders at $55. So we take 25 times 55, which gives us $1,375. We total these up for our entire funnel so far. So that's $18,875. So this single product funnel is going to bring in 18 grand as it stands right now. Now your numbers might shift, right? You might have only 8% that comes in your funnel. That's okay. Maybe you only have 30% that are opting in. That's okay, right? The numbers still work out. What I'm doing is I'm giving you the equation, how our single product funnel is performing on the backside, right? Remember how we opened up the funnel to see how it works. So now let's see. Okay, I have 500 buyers here. 500 are here. How much did they spend altogether? They spent $18,875, which is kind of what we knew down here, right? That's our total. So how much can I afford per buyer? Because that's really what we're doing. When we buy traffic, I want to know how much can I afford for a buyer, right? What's that look like? So if we take 18 grand divided by 500, we get $37.75 per buyer. So that's what I can afford. In this funnel, for this single product funnel that's having a $35 entry point of entry, the barrier of entry, right, a $35, I can afford $37 revenue. Now keep in mind, this doesn't include the price of goods, the cost of goods, the COGS, the overhead, things like that. So you're going to need to work that in to this equation. This is kind of like a 30,000 foot view. We can discuss that in other videos. But looking at this one funnel with one SKU, or two SKUs, sorry, SKU 1 and SKU 2, we got $37, okay? Pretty simple enough. Now let's work into something else. So how we can keep the same amount of SKUs in your facility, a lot of people like to add SKUs. Well, when you add SKUs, that creates increasive complexity in the business, right? Over by like 12 times. So every time you add a SKU, it creates a complexity of 12x inside your business. So think about that. The next time you're like, oh, I need this, and I need this, and I need this in my funnels, realistically, you might only need 1 or 2 or 3 products, okay? And that's what we do. So let's look at a multi-product funnel. So the funnel is going to look exactly the same, except we're going to offer them to buy multiple units. So let's take that book, for example. You might think writing a book that only one person at a time is going to need one book. But how many times have someone given you a book, right? Or come to Barnes & Noble and bought 3? I know I do, right? When I buy books, I buy 10 because I like to pass them out. So looking at SKUs that might be, that you think that only someone's going to buy one of, maybe it's a paint can, maybe it's a marker, right? It's calculator, like who needs more than one calculator? But people do. People buy multiple of one item. And I highly suggest you do that because I'm going to show you why with the math. And this is how you can outperform someone who's competing in the same space. So our order form is going to convert at the same percentage. That's 10%. So what's that give us? That gives us 500 orders. And these numbers, what I'm about to show you, is numbers that we've pulled from our own funnels. Of those 500 orders, I've given them the option to purchase one item. So do you want one book? Do you want 2? Do you want 3? Do you want 4 books, 5, or 10? And yes, I do skip the 6, 7, 8, and 9. We've just found that 1 through 5 to 10 works best. So what's interesting enough is that of the 500 people that came through, all right, remember 10,000 clicks, 5,000 opted in, 10,000 of those said yes, I'll order, which is 500 orders. So of those 500 orders, 35% ordered 1 unit, right? 28% ordered 2 units, 2 books. 14% bought 3, 6% bought 4, 8 bought 5, and 4% bought 10, all right? So now we take 38% times 500, which gives us 190. 28% times 500 gives us 140. You following along? 14% times 500 is 70, 6, 30, 8 and 40, 40 and 20. All right, if you add all these up, it'll come out to be 500 orders, okay? But here's what's really cool, is we have 190 people that bought at 35 bucks, whereas the single funnel, all 500 bought, because that's only the option you gave them. So here, this brought in 6,650 bucks, right? 140 times 70, that's 9,800, right? 70 times 105, that's 7,350. 30 times 140, that's 4,200. Right? 40 times 175, that's 7K. Here's what's kind of interesting, is 20 times 350, again, 7K. These two end ones brought in the same amount of revenue. Kind of ironic, huh? Now, if you add all this up, right, this adds up to $42,000. All right, a little bit of a difference. So I want you to remember that number, $42,000. Because when we take 42 grand divided by 500, right, what's that give us? That gives us $84 per buyer. All right? So remember that number as well. So now let's kind of compare a little bit, okay? So our single product funnel, do you guys remember what this was? Right? This one brought in $18,875. Our multi-product funnel, which guess what? We're selling the same thing, right? In a single product funnel, I sold the same book that I'm selling right here, except the only thing I changed was I allowed someone to buy more than one. That's the takeaway. Well, the multi-product funnel brought in $42,000. Okay? Let me ask you, which one would you rather have? Would you rather take the time to set up a multi-product funnel or a single product funnel using the same SKU? It's as easy as this. All you have to know is the back end, right? Remember the gears? Remember those? All right, so how much is it per buyer, right? On a single product funnel, it was $37 is what we could afford per buyer. But when I added the option to buy multiple, we increased that to $84 revenue per buyer. So just this alone, just by doing this alone, going from a single product funnel to a multi-product funnel, I'm able to buy twice as much the traffic, right, than my competition is. And that's the cool piece about Funnelytics. Hey, I appreciate you watching this episode. I hope you got something out of it. Apply this to your business. Get excited. Go make some money. I'll see you guys on next week's call.